Hey Terry, how are you this morning, my friend?
Good. And you?
Good. I like the new lighting. You look a little bit like a ghost.
Is this better?
The ghost of horse racing picks past.
How's that?
Alley with A. Perfect, man. I mean, it looks good.
Okay, good.
Yes, indeed. How was your weekend? How was your Sunday, Terry?
Really good. I did really well at Santa Anita. I had the last pick 4, pick 5, and pick 6.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
What do they pay?
400 on the pick 5, 400 something on the pick 6, and I think about $100 on the pick 4.
Well, winners.
Yeah, and then at Los Alamitos, I hit the first pick 4 for 800. So
you were up late last night, huh?
Well, yeah, I only played the first pick 4, and then I shut it down, went to be with my honey bun, so she didn't feel left out.
Yes. You got to spend a little bit of time with the horses and the honey, right?
That's right. So
Absolutely, for sure. So this week, no Breeders' Cup to recap, so we'll get to the news like we always do. It's been a lot of talk, as people know, about some new rules that are going to go from coast to coast, and it looks like that these rules are actually going to be unveiled pretty soon. According to your Basin and Texan, it says here the nascent Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority on Tuesday released a draft proposal of anti-doping and medication control rules designed to bring uniformity to a sport that operated for years under patchwork regulations in 38 states, Terry. So it looks like it almost looks like there's a Bob Baffert rule in here to me, because did you see that one in there or not?
No, I didn't see it.
It says in here, like, for example, if they have, like, what was it called? The beta something Simone or something like that.
Yeah.
The substance that was on Medina's Spirit when it was in the Kentucky Derby, that would only be like a 10-day suspension because it's considered a Class C substance, I guess.
Okay.
But a couple of them interesting, steroids and this EPO, which, there's a lot of talk about EPO in the horse racing business. Mm-hmm. Guess those would be banned. And pretty much the only thing a horse could have starting, I think, midnight the day before the race would be like food and water, like just honey, oats, and water. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, well, they better be careful with the food. Sometimes they claim that this stuff gets into the food, so into the oats and the hay. So you got to be careful there, I guess.
The good hay, the peed on hay.
That's right.
Just not that hay. We don't pee on this hay.
No,
we pee on regular hay.
Not Hollywood hay.
No, not indeed. So one of the things that's pretty cool about this too, Terry, is that you can actually go in and give your feedback on this, right? So the Horse Racing Integrity Act. So here's your chance as a horse player if you want your voice heard in this whole upcoming debate over the doping rules in horse racing. The Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authorization released a draft proposal, so you can go ahead and make your make some comments, or you can go ahead and give your feedback. That's pretty interesting. Any feedback what feedback would you give them, Terry?
Well, first of all, I would like it to be uniform across the board. All the states be the same. All the racing authorities play by the same rules, and then I'd wanted to make sure that the drug that they were using was something that was necessary and not just something that may enhance the horse's
performance. Yeah,
like latex, not Lasix. I mean, that's good for this horse that bleed.
Yeah. So, from what I read, they're not going to prevent it. They're just going to make it so you can't use it on a race day.
Yeah, although they did say Lasix would be prohibited on the race day for all 2-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
So,
on race day, it said on all 2-year-olds, all stakes races, and some other races, whatever those other races might be. What's up, Lolo? How you doing today, my friend? So yeah, Tom says he's ecstatic about these new rules. Finally, going to be put in place. It says they're going to go into effect July 1st. They should go in effect the first Thursday in May, right before.
So how about making them go into effect January 1st? of
Well,
2022.
the thing here says is on December 6th, the proposed rules go to the Federal Trade Commission for further public comment. So make sure if you have something to say, Tom, I'm sure you do. Make sure you keep an eye, monitor out that FTC website, and when they ask for some input, go ahead and type it in there and let these people work for us. They're bureaucrats, right? That are entrenched deeper than roots of 100-year-old tree, but they are bureaucrats, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is interesting that they put him in halfway through the year. But I mean, I think they'll probably start to gear up for them going into it if they know that they're coming. But yeah, so let your voice be heard. Let your politicians know, hey, this is our sport, folks. This is the one that we're out there promoting. We're talking about. We're betting our money on. So hell, let them hear your voice. If you have something to say that you think will improve the sport, reach out to the FTC via their comment section and let them have it, Terry.
That's right. Absolutely. So.
Now, one of the things they're going to let us have, maybe at least if you're in Colorado, this is something too that I think they got to change. These like state by state rules on gaming, right? And I understand your state's rights and all that kind of stuff, and what should go on in states and all that kind of good stuff. But there should be. I mean, I live in Illinois. If I'm allowed to, if I'm a resident of Illinois, and I am in visiting my folks in Florida, I should be allowed to still make my bets as a resident of Illinois on my app because I'm a resident of Illinois, not a resident of Florida. And because of that, just because I'm visiting my folks in Florida doesn't mean I shouldn't be allowed to make bets in Florida while I'm there. But in any case, Colorado, and talk about patchwork rules. Colorado now says that they're going to change sports betting apps, perhaps. So like your FanDuels and stuff, but you can bet on FanDuel horse racing. But like I guess like on DraftKings or some other sports apps along those lines where you can I know you can't have the state supersede federal. You can though, Tom, if Constitution. There's some real arguments and all that kind of stuff for sure. Need a stronger penalties for fixing racers on trainers and jockeys. Well, yeah. What's cool about that is Tom and I, and I'm getting way on a tangent here, JW, but Tom and I, we do all these international races, and the stewards, they seem to have a far greater I think authority in other parts of the world than they have here. If there's a favorite that looks like you're not a fan of fixed odds, you won't have to use them, Tom. But if you're on the favorite horse in England and you run poorly, those stewards come down and they interview you and they ask you what happened. And if they feel like your answer is not like up to par, then they can suspend you, which I mean, they don't do that here. Maybe that's some authority a state ought to consider giving to stewards and see if, what that does. I also like that they have like all their veterinary records are public. If you go to like Japan racing or English racing, everything that's ever happened to the horse, it's in the public domain. To me, I don't know necessarily that more and more and more regulation is the answer to anything, because look around your house, everything is regulated. What does that actually answer? Not much, right? No. I think what provides more, I think, is transparency. The more you know about something, the better off you are as a horse player and anything in the world. Absolutely. But anyway, back to fixed odds, Terry. Tom Carley doesn't like it. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't like it either. I like where you could, like they do in a lot of places in the world, they don't have fixed odds. In other words, you can bet on a horse and get whenever the odds change, whatever. So
what I call it is socialism for horse racing. Yeah. Right? Because pari-mutuel is a free market, right? Everybody's making their decisions and they're putting their money into the pool. So and because of that, it's more like a capitalistic system, right? So the money flows to where they think their information takes them. By having fixed odds, it takes out some of the ability to handicap, right? And I know there's a lot of horse players and gamblers that don't really understand pari-mutuel wagering, and they're the ones clamoring for fixed odds. Yeah. But at the same time, the takeout rates aren't going to make it like betting football. They're not going to make it like betting on a baseball or basketball game where they have 10% juice, not 10% juice taxes and everything else than the track take. So it's a much different ball game, I think, when you're comparing sports betting to horse racing betting.
Yeah, a lot of people think, the track wants the long shot to win, so they don't have to pay as much. They don't understand it costs them just as much when a long shot wins as when a favorite wins.
Well, it doesn't cost the track anything.
That's what I mean. Uh-huh. Well, no, because they take out their fees and their profits and all that. But the point I'm trying to make is that people people think, oh, they let that long shot win, or they wanted the long shot to win, so they have to pay out less money to people or more money or whatever they think. Yeah.
Right, because they don't understand parimutuel wagering. So when you're betting a football game, you're not betting against other bettors in the pool of money. You're betting against the house.
That's
so you're betting against Las Vegas. Horse racing is more like a game of poker. You're betting against the other players. Right. And just like poker, when you put your chips on the table, the house takes their cut first, and what's left is then split amongst the winning tickets of the bettors. That's how horse racing is different. It's more like poker than it is betting on football or basketball or something like that.
Well, yeah, and the problem with that is that the house takes like 15%, give or take, for taxes and their profit and all that. So if you start every day with $100,000 comes to the track and bets, they give back 85,000, and then the next time when you bet 85,000, they give back like 72,000.
They keep cutting the top off.
That's right. So by the end of the day, there's very little left in those parimutuel.
The house takes the money, or you keep reaching into your pocket, A or B, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So one of the ways that the house can't take your money, Terry, is by taking advantage of Terry's best bet of the day, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Now, how did your best bet do yesterday, my friend?
Absolutely fantastic. It was cold trifecta. And my first horse, I bet at Del Mar, and that's where I had the pick 4, pick 5, pick 6.
Not at Santa Anita yet.
Not Santa Anita, Del Mar. But anyway, Del Mar in the 7th race, number 4, Greg's Diva was my first pick. Won and paid $7.20, $4 to place, and $2.80 to show. And then number 5, She's Devoted, ran second, paying $6.60 to place and $4.20 to show. And the Exacta paid $20.70 for $1. And then my third choice, Dancing Crane, ran third, paid $3. And a 50-cent trifecta paid $33.70. So,
not bad. Where else can you take 50 cents, turn it into $33? Ice cold, Terry, in about a minute. And how many furlongs was the race? 6 furlongs? So a minute 10?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, that would be slow horses out at Del Mar. So today we're at another fast track. We're going to go over to Turf Paradise today because that's where Terry and I are doing our Fly 4. Terry's doing race 4 for his best bet today because we're going to start the pick 4 in race 5. And Terry wants to perhaps give a little bit of aid, hopefully some comfort for the pick 5 as well.
That's correct. So I like number 1, Brewery Gulch, won his last 2 races, earning the highest last speed rating. And his best start speed is the fastest among today's starter. Then number 4, Brother Robert, finished second, beaten ahead after being bumped during the race. He has finished 50% of the time this year in the money, winning 2 of the races. And then number 6, Wei Yin, seems to finish in mid-pack. And then the next, one race he'll finish in mid-pack. The very next race he wins, and then
he's a light switch horse. He's on sometimes, he's off sometimes.
Every other time. So he was off last time. So this time maybe he'll win. He's dropping in class today and has the highest speed figure at today's distance.
Well, if any of them are going to win, and it's not Brewery Gulch, Terry, it's definitely going to be the 6 horse because that's right. Those are the ones that hit for you. Your third horse is the one that comes in if the first one doesn't.
That's right. Yeah.
So
usually one of the horses I have in there wins. So
yes, they usually do.
Yeah.
Well, today, hopefully, some of the horses you have in every race in the Fly 4 wins too, or at least maybe some that I pick as well.
Yeah.
So our Fly 4 is going to be race 5 at Turf Paradise is where we're going to start it. And the first race, Terry, what's interesting to me about the sequence of this pick 4 is the first race is 4.5 furlongs. The second race is 5.5 furlongs, then 6 furlongs, and then 6.5 furlongs. So it's just like boop, 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 up the ladder we go. Yeah. So to me, it was kind of interesting looking at some of the biases of the track as I go ahead and make my picks. Starting in race number 5, the 4.5 furlongs, they have 42 races, Terry, at the distance during the meet. 40 of them were won by speed horses. So no need to look for closers, I don't think. If the 2 out of 42 beats you, I mean, that's just bad luck.
Yeah.
Of the 42, Terry, 26 went wire to wire. So it definitely speed, like 62% or something like that. And then the outside bias, surprisingly for a 4.5 furlong race, for some reason, you would think that, I would just naturally be inclined to believe the horses on the inside with speed would have the advantage. But it looks to me like there's a little bit more advantage to being outside than inside. So start us off, Terry, for this Monday. Who is the top choice for Terry in this 4.5 furlong blazing fast sprint?
Well, I picked a very blazing fast horse, number 5, Mine Hunter. Ran second versus similar in his last race. And this trainer wins 30% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to the race. And he's best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he should improve at a shorter distance.
All right, so that's the 5 horse, right?
That's correct.
Yes. For me, I'm going to start. I mean, it's just I'm going to start with the 6 horse.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Squared straight.
Yep.
Yeah, he's outside, right? Because there's 6 or 7 horses in this field. So he's outside. He has some early pace. And I ran through kind of like the horses. It's kind of difficult to look because not a lot of them have run 4.5 furlongs. They're running all different distances. Some 1,000 yards. Some are running 7.5 furlongs. Some are running a mile. So trying to make apples to apples comparison was kind of tough. So I was just looking at their 4 furlong figures in sprints just to get an idea how fast they might be to the half-mile marker. The horse that's probably first at the half-mile marker, Terry's probably going to win this race because he only has a half a furlong to go at that point.
Yep.
And it looks to me like the 6 horse probably has the fastest fractions to 4 furlongs. Last time out, led wire to wire in its first race at Turf Paradise, was ahead by 3 lengths, never really challenged, and popped one of the better pace figures in terms of this field, especially for its first try on this track.
Yeah, I like it too. It's my second pick. And as a matter of fact, the trainer wins 28% of the time. This horse broke its maiden last race. Mm-hmm. And the trainer wins 28% of the time when he brings a horse that's broken its maiden back to the races. So,
yeah, and he'd been facing a little bit of tougher and other stuff on turf as well up at Canterbury Downs. Who's it? Canterbury Downs, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it is.
I get confused between the Barks, the Towns, and all the different
derbies and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that different stuff. Any other horse that you like in here, Terry?
I like number 4, Above the Law. Has plenty of speed. Will break on top to try to lead, just like the other ones. And he won his last race at Los Alamitos in September. So
there's one of those 1,000-foot races.
Yeah, 1,000 foot. All right. You're right about that.
The only thing that concerned me a little bit about that horse, Terry, is in 1,000 feet, except for his last race, he kind of backed up in every other race.
Yeah, that's true.
At 1,000 feet. So now he's going to go a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer 4.5 furlongs is from 1,000 feet, but it is a little bit longer. Is that a lock for you, Terry?
No, it's not a lock.
All right. Well, let's put it aside for a second, and then we'll revisit it. The other horse that I had in here, Terry, that and then inside doesn't really work, but the 1 horse limited offer did show some speed. This one ran only 870 feet last time out, so at Zia Park. But if you go back a little bit, he has run at Turf Paradise 9 times, has 3/3. It's also run at the distance 3 times with a win and a second. It looks to me like this is a horse that should be on the gas early as well. And it did. And I discount this, Terry, because it's 1,000-foot, 870-foot race, but it had the highest last race speed figure. It's supposed to take into account the differences in distance, but I don't buy it at, these quarter horse type lengths.
Yeah. And I like that one too. It's my 4th pick. Jockey Chad Lindsay in the last 7 days has won 2 out of 8 starts with 2 seconds and a third. And like you said, he just won at Zia Park on the dirt. So, yeah.
You want to put that one in there or that one to the side too?
No, let's put it in.
All right. So only other horse I kind of wanted to consider in here, Terry, maybe is the 3 horse in here. That's California Tanga. Mm-hmm. This horse has not run since in more than a year. So
right.
It's coming back to the track, and unfortunately a new man because he's being gelded for the first time. So I don't know if that makes him a new man or what that makes him, but does that make him still a man? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But anyway, man or not, the horse has 2 bullet workouts coming into this race, both at Turf Paradise on November 9th. So not all that long ago. Fastest of 22 at 3 furlongs. Ran it in 35-1, which is a pretty quick time. And then on November 1st at Turf Paradise, 4 furlongs, fastest of 19 at 45-2. Those are some pretty good workouts, Terry.
Yeah, they are. So I was actually between that horse and the number one horse in my fourth pick. So I like the workouts. The only thing that kind of concerns me is it's been over a year since it's been out. So.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to take the 1 out and put the 3 and 4 in, or do you want to put the 3 in? You want to put the 4 in, or do you want to see if maybe we can? I don't think we could catch some small prices here, so I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah, let's go down. Let's go to the next race. We can always come back if we want.
And then we'll figure out which one we're going to put in there. All right, fantastic. So race number 6, as I mentioned before, Terry, this one is 5.5 furlongs as they step up the distance ladder. So 5.5 furlongs. It's a claiming 8,500 non-winners of 3 lifetime purchase for $13,400. Why 400 and not 500? I don't know. These horses have never won 3 races. However, there have been 95 races at the distance. Terry, 72 of the 95 were won by speed. 39 of the 72. So that's a pretty high number, Terry. Over half. One wire to wire. Once again, at 5.5 furlongs, we find out that being outside is a little bit of an advantage over being inside. So is your first pick going to start on the inside or outside?
Outside. My first pick is going to start on the outside. That's Mountain Spirit, number 7. He comes in from Southern California, and he switches to a high percentage trainer and drops in class today. His early speed running style will help his chances, and he should improve at this shorter distance. And then he has a really hot trainer jockey combination. In the last 14 days have won 4 out of 7 mounts.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, Robertino Diodora, our guest, who accurately said Nick Sko would wipe out the mat with the 3-year-olds in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and he was right about that. But he's really good with horses on the first time. I can't tell how many times, and it just anecdotally noticing this from watching so many damn horse races, Terry. It just seems to me that anytime Robertino has a horse out for the first time, it's one you got to look out for.
Yeah,
is typically the horse will show some improved form. It, as you mentioned, last time out ran at Santa Anita. Since came to Turf Paradise, put in a bullet workout on November the 1st. It was the fastest at 45-2 of 19 for 4 furlongs. So I expect some big improvement out of this horse today, who is dropping a class. And you're going to find out that I really like him a lot when we do the hot dog pick 4s. My second pick in this horse race was the 3, Terry, which I believe is scratched. So we don't have to worry about Have a Little Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, you're getting kind of chalky here, but the 6 horse Juggles is another one that's coming in from another track, has a jockey and trainer in Justin Evans, who's won 18% of his races so far this year. But he does pretty well bringing horses in out from outside of Turf Paradise, winning at 26%. I just think the 7's going to beat him. So I'm not really keen on any particular horse. So tell me who else you like, and we'll put them in instead.
Well, I like Juggles. He was doing pretty well when he's running at Pleasanton and at Golden Gate.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's won a race.
Did I go or did you go?
Go where?
Because I couldn't hear you. So it must be my internet went out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, he has a high percentage trainer and jockey, and the trainer wins 57% of the time when bringing a horse back after dropping it in class. He has the trainer and the jockey has won 3 out of the last 12 mounts.
Do you think we need to go any deeper here?
I don't think so, because I really think that 7's going to win this race. So.
I think the 7's going to win this race too. The only other horse that I kind of had on my radar, Terry, maybe a little bit longer odds, was the 1 horse Sandwalker, but I don't know. It's coming off a layoff. The workouts have been okay. Nothing spectacular. But the one thing I do like about the 1 horse relative to the others in the field, especially now that the 3 horse is scratched, it's of all the other horses that are in this race, aside from the 6 and 7 who are making their Turf Paradise debuts, the 1 horse is the only one with any kind of experience at this track that's kind of done something. And what he did with it was a win in 2 seconds in 5 races. But a little more on the right-hand side of the past performances under the distance numbers. He's run at the distance 8 times with 2 wins in 6 seconds. So it seems to me like this is like the right distance for him. So the only other horse I would think about, because he's got some track experience, better than all the rest, and his his ability to finish in the money at least 100% so far in 8 races, that's the only other horse I would think about.
Yeah, and that's my third pick. So, in those races that he ran at this distance, he's won 25% of them, and he's having a good year. He's finished 63% of the time in the money this year, and he's won 18% of those races. So, yeah, I like that horse.
So, should we leave him? I'm not so
side.
Yeah, I'm not so convinced that that anybody's going to beat the 7 or the 6. I don't think anybody's going to beat the 7. If somebody does, it's probably going to be the 6. And if they both stumble, then the only one I think that might get him is the 1.
Yep, I agree.
Race number 7, Terry. We continue to stretch it out half a furlong at a time now, Terry.
That's right.
6 furlongs. This one, they've run 136 races, Terry. So it's probably the most common distance. Of the 136 races, Terry, 99, so one short of 100, have gone to the horses that have been out in the front of the pack. 44 of the 136 ran wire to wire. And it looks to me like, Terry, this one is a fairer distance in that there doesn't seem to be an outside bias. It seems to me that you can win from anywhere in the gates.
Could be.
So which gate's going to win?
Well, I like number 6. He's another one coming in from Southern California, and he should improve while returning to dirt. He has the hot jockey trainer combination, who in the last 14 days, 5 mounts, 3 wins, and the second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, coming in off of Santa Anita turf. Again, this is a Robertino D'Iridoro, just like we talked about last time. Seems like every time this guy gets his hands on a new horse, first time out, you better pay attention. He got off to a kind of rough start last time at Santa Anita, optional claiming $80,000. So this is a step down. Looking at its lone workout at Turf Paradise since that October 8th run, fastest of 19 on that day for 4 furlongs and 45-2. It's going to get out of the gate and it's going to go, Terry, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah. So, and so far, if things go the way the card looks like they're going to go, and they never really do, but if they do, so far it's going to be pretty chalky, Terry. So, which makes me a little bit nervous about going too deep.
Yeah.
My next horse here, Terry, is the 3 horse, which is Last Punch. This is a horse that has a lot of early punch, Terry. Mm-hmm. Last 2 races, it's won wire to wire. It took a year off, came back to Turf Paradise, won its maiden claiming there, smoked the field, winning by 4 1/4 lengths at 6 furlongs, just like today, in 110-2. Last race at Arizona Downs, ran 6 furlongs in 109-3. Showed some good improvement in its final fractions there. I love to see a horse that's on the upswing, Terry. This horse looks to me like it's getting faster and getting better.
Yeah, I like this horse too as my 4th pick. Won its last race at Arizona Downs, 6 furlongs. And when he did, he earned the highest last race speed rating, and the trainer wins 33% of the time when bringing a horse back from a 46 to 90-day break. So
you say he was your 4th, so that means there's got to be a 2nd and 3rd in there.
Yeah, I like number 5 as my 2nd choice. In the red, the trainer wins 25% of the time when going from the turf to the dirt, and could improve while returning to the dirt. So the jockey, Luis Valenzuela, in the last 7 days is finishing the money 9 times, winning 4 of those.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have In the Red in mind. Is a good closer. It probably could do well. The lone trip over at Turf Paradise was a 2nd. Is making a first time off a laugh. And, we talked a little while ago about a horse that was running at Canterbury Downs that came over and smoked the field in, I think it was race number 5. So same angle here, horse coming in from Canterbury Downs. Didn't really fare too well up there, but maybe a little less competition down in Turf Paradise. We shall see. So for me, the next horse that I'm looking at in here, Terry, it's a real tough call for me, but I'm going to go with it's between the 4 and the 7 for me, Terry. Well, it looks to me like I'm going to go ahead and give the 4 the call here. Outside the Law, Terry was the favorite last time out for trainer Stacy Campo. Stacy comes back to win at 42%, so has won 5 of the last 12 races when the horse was the favorite and failed. Should be one that gets off to some early pace on November 3rd. Had a really nice workout. October 21st, had a really nice workout at Turf Paradise, won 1 of 2 races at Turf Paradise, Terry, and has hit the board in 2 of 3 at the distance with, I think, the top speed figure attained by any horse in this field, 4.6 furlongs.
Yeah, this is another horse that will run like fourth and then first and then fifth and then first and then third and maybe first this time. So, yeah, I would go with that one. It's not one that I had in my top 4, but that's a horse I would go with.
All right, so we're both missing one from our top 4. Who is the one from your top 4 that's missing?
Number 2, Mind Me. Has won 2 out of 4 races this year, has a high percentage trainer, and switches to a high percentage jockey. The trainer wins 33% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to the races. And the jockey in the last 7 days out of 15 mounts has 8 in the money, 4 of them wins, and the horse has pretty good works.
Yeah, he's got a good jockey combo with the trainer too as well. The other one in there for me was the 7. So if we don't have the 3, 4, 5, or 6 in there, maybe the 2 or 7. If there's a scratch, or if you don't like the 6, 3, 4, or 5, maybe you might want to look at the 2 or 7. The only other horse in the field is the 1. So Terry and I didn't put the 1 in there in any of our thoughts. So guess who's going to beat us, Terry?
Probably the 1, yeah.
Probably the 1. So put all of your money, go out and put a mortgage out and get the 1. Just kidding, of course.
Yeah.
The final race, Terry, is race number 8. It is 6.5 furlongs, 82 races, Terry, at the distance. 58 speed horses have won, including 30 that led from gate to wire, from pillar to post. And it looks to me like for the first time out of the first 3 legs that we're going to see an inside speed bias, Terry, here. So with that inside speed bias, you like the horse that started with the name Red a couple of races back. I like a horse that starts with the name Red here too, and Red Nova. It is inside, can show some speed at times. Of all the horses in this field, it's hitting the board in 7 of 9 at Turf Paradise. Last time out was the 3 to 5 favorite. Had a little bit of problems in that race. I expect it to rebound and do better in the second start off a layoff for trainer Cynthia George.
I agree with you. Was second versus similar in the last race and has the best dirt speed among today's starters. So, yeah, it was my first pick.
And who's your second pick?
Number 8, Twilight Galaxy. Finished third versus Tougher in his last race, or her last race. Drops in class, and her early speed running style will help. She has a hot jockey in the last 7 days who has finished in the money 7 out of 12 mounts, or winning 25% of those.
All right, I had the 8 in there as my third choice, so we're on the same wavelength here right now. The only other horse I was kind of looking at it here, Terry, and I'm not really familiar with the Emerald Downs angle to, Turf Paradise. I see the Emerald Downs horses go to like Santa Anita and stuff like that. They really struggle, but this is not going to Santa Anita. This is going to Turf Paradise. And as I was going through the past performances, I saw some other horses that made like the Emerald Downs to Turf Paradise move. And a lot of them looks like they got a little bit better in Turf Paradise than they ran in Emerald Downs. So she's got the power, Terry. She's got the power, put some decent workouts in, hasn't raced at Turf Paradise, but it does have some of the best early pace numbers if you go back a little bit. But at the same time, the horse does look like it wants to come from off the pace a little. So if there's a horse because of a speed meltdown, and we haven't had many closers today, I feel like if there is a little bit of pace up front and the horses get tired, maybe she's got the power. That downgrade from Emerald Downs, if it's not a downgrade, but maybe potential improvement going to Turf Paradise could play out to her favor.
Oh, I like that horse too. It's my third pick, and she has the highest last speed rating of the horses. And then she drops in class today, and she's got a really good jockey who in the last 7 days have finished the money 5 out of 8 times, winning 2 of those.
Yes, Chad Lindsay. All right, so do you want to add another horse here, Terry, or what do you think?
I like number 4, Normia. Ran third in her last race at Emerald Downs and has some really good works.
Nomia, yeah. I mean, that's the same thing, right? The Emerald Downs angle. The reason I like the 5 over the 4 is the 5 never had a shot at the Turf Paradise, whereas the 4 horse did run there 3 times and yet to hit the board. So that's the reason why I picked the 5 over the 4, because you just don't know. Do you want to put the 4 in there? Put it to the side? What do you want to do?
Put it to the side. And there's another one that really scares me, and that's the number 6, Call Me Jesse James. Comes in from Northern California after being off for over a year and drops in class today. And the trainer wins 50% of the time when they put blinkers back on a horse. The horse has been steadily working out to come back to the races. So,
yeah, I don't see any really fast workouts in there though, Terry.
No,
That's
they're
another
just
thing too.
They're just medium.
So I wonder what the horse is going to bring to the table. I mean, it could beat us, that's for sure. I think, and it's tough to say what's going to. I think just for the odds sake, I think there's probably a pretty good chance this horse's odds are going to go up, not down. I would suspect.
Yeah.
If it does go down, that tells you that the folks at the track have seen this thing work and they know that the horse is ready. The 7-year-old mare is ready to fire. That's another thing too. It's a 7-year-old horse coming off a break, and those mares sometimes, as Thomas told us, when they're done running, they're done running. They don't want to run no more.
That's true.
So you want to put in there just in case, or you want to put it to the side? Where do you think this?
Well, where are we at without? If you put it to the side, where are we at? Let's see, 3 times 2.
Well, right now we're not really. Yeah, so we're like what, $15, $45 is where we're at. So we have plenty of space.
Yeah, I think this last leg's pretty wide open myself. So let's put the 4 in.
Okay, so you want to put the 4 in there then?
Yeah,
and then we'll leave the 6 off to the side. So the question we have now is then, do you want to try to beat the 7 or 6 in this race? Or to me, the one that scares me the most, I think that we left off is in race number 5. And I think that is the 3 horse, if I remember correctly, the one with all those crazy workouts.
Yeah. Put the 3 in.
Let's just go back and make sure. Yeah. The 3 is the horse that's been off for a year. That's got all those crazy workouts and the top jockey in there. So if we go like this, Terry, we have 16 times 4, that's 64. That's where we're at. I mean, we could throw the 1 in there and hope it beats the 7 in the 6, Terry, and that puts us to our $96.
Yeah, let's put the 1 in.
All right, so we'll put the 1 in there then. And the 1, if it does win, it takes the bet from $64 to $96, Terry.
Yeah.
But if it does happen to beat the 6 or the 7, I think that you're going to get more than if the corresponding risk to reward ratio is definitely in your favor there.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so there's the fly for it, Terry. We have the 1, the 3, the 5, the 6 in race 1. In race 5, race 6, we have the 1, 6, 7. Race 7, we have the 3, 4, 5, and 6. Race 8, the 2, 4, 5, and 8. And then you see on the side some alternate picks in the event any of those horse scratches. Of course, Terry and I don't always play pick 4s because they are hard. They are some of the hardest bets to win. So we also consider our picks for exactas, trifectas, rolling doubles, rolling pick 3s, just straight up win bets. If you see a horse in here that you feel like is a good value, we picked it out and its odds go up, not down, and you feel like there's a good chance the horse could win. Sometimes a straight win bet it pays well too, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
And then Terry and I, as always, we do our own hot dog pick 4s, Terry. So let's go ahead and see how Terry crafted his ticket and how I crafted mine when we only have a budget of $20 or less. Tell us about your picks, Terry.
Okay, I like in the 5th race the 5 and the 6, and in the 6th race I like 6 and the 7th. 7th race I like the 5 and the 6, and in the 8th race I like the 2, 4, 5, 8.
So for me, Terry, I felt like the 7 in race 6 was a horse to beat our friend Robertino Diodoro. So I soloed the 7. Race 1, I went with the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 6. Race 7, again, I went 4 deep, 3, 4, 6, and 7. And then race 8, I really felt like the 2 horse was the one to beat. I could have singled the 2 horse, but I decided to put the 8 horse in there as well because I felt like that was the second best horse in the race. So my ticket's $16. Terry's ticket is $18. As you can see, the prices right there. We reveal them. Ta-da! Finally, Terry, our 3-piece parlay, our 3P Place-Parlay-Press. That's a hard one to get out in a row.
It is.
You did yours at Turf Paradise. What do you like there?
Yeah, I like in the 3rd race number 2. Whoa, Nizzy. And then I like in this 6th race number 6 Juggles. And in the 8th race, I like the number 2 horse Red Nova.
And for me, I went to Finger Lakes, race 6, 7, and 8. The races at 6 and 7 are our best bets over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. So make sure you head over there. We have every single race covered, Terry, at every single thoroughbred track that's running today. In fact, if you head over there now, you'll see that we have some free picks today at Mahoning Valley.
Mahoning
Just
Valley,
go over, register, click, and you'll see at Mahoning Valley the free picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There you can see there's Fat Daddy, race 4. I would have used Fat Daddy as a 3P press parlay, Terry, but I wanted to make sure there was time for people to go ahead and take a look at it. So again, Guaranteed Tip Sheet. You can get all the day's races along with the free track, best bets at every single track, along with some suggested wagers. All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here on this hopefully money-making Monday?
Yeah, no, I just want people to be safe and enjoy your life. Give your loved ones lots of love and plenty of hugs, and just have a great week this week.
Fantastic indeed. Good advice, Terry. Make sure, because you just don't know, right, what the day holds. So if it were your last, I always think about, some of those things when you read books and, on having a positive attitude and all that sort of stuff. If today were your last day and you knew it was your last day, how would you live that day? Right.
Right.
That's pretty much how we should all go through life, I feel like, because it would probably be a heck of a better place to be. If you did like what you see today and you want to live your life like this every day, Terry, tell them where to do it.
You go to Facebook and give us a thumbs up.
At Racing Radar.
Mm-hmm. At Race, and then you go to Twitter and you can retweet us on Twitter. And then you go to YouTube and subscribe if you like us, and give us some positive returns there.
Yes, give us a thumbs up so we can be ratioed to the good side, Terry, for sure. Again, that's Racing Radar on Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe here on the YouTube channel for Horse Racing Radar TV. If you do like what you see, hopefully if we win, come back and give us a thumbs up when we hit a couple winners. That will help our ratio as well. Move us up the algorithms and help more people find us. You can help more people find us by telling your friends about us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, do a TikTok dance, whatever it is that you do to communicate with your friends. Let them know about Horse Racing Radar. As Terry said, I hope that you have a fantastic, fantastic Monday. Get the week off to a good start. Terry, where do we want to see all of our picks?
In the winner's circle.
See you in the winner's circle. J. Marco's winner's circle.